is rolling now. Go. 10 minutes.
Okay, your team stated Brazil as a semi-periphery. How would you explain its dominance in the world economy today?
Wait, first, okay, I'm going to read the definition of semi-periphery. Semi-periphery countries fall in the middle of these spectrum, meaning in between core countries and periphery countries. Their unique political and social structure places them in a position where they can best take advantage of economic downturns. So, you think we do this also? Can we do this?
His Wallerstein's theory doesn't necessarily imply that the economy can't be strong first.
It implies that they are in a downturn or an upturn. They've already hit the upturn. Wallerstein's theory also implies that they are taken advantage of by the core nations. Who is taking advantage of Brazil?
Well, the rising semi-peripheries aren't necessarily.
Who is taking advantage of Brazil?
Like I said, no one is necessarily taking advantage of
Then it is
Brazil.
not a semi-periphery.
No, that would be the peripheries that are being taken advantage of, if that's
No.
the right term.
Reread the thing.
There's also declining.
They just said they're on a turn, they're in between. That doesn't mean they're being taken advantage of.
Semi-periphery.
Wait, where does it say semi-periphery?
The peripheries are the countries that provide the raw materials for the core countries, if that's what you mean by taking advantage of.
I should have tried this open before.
But they also have the raw materials, like the soybeans and stuff like that, but they have machinery stuff too.
According to Wallerstein, the semi-peripheries were exploited by the core, but as in the case of American empires, were often exploiters of the peripheries themselves. Therefore, both exploiters and exploitees.
Yeah, but they are both. The raw materials makes them exploitees, but the fact that they have a great, strong economy means that they're exploiters. So you literally just prove their point. They're in the middle.
Who is taking advantage?
No one is definitely taking advantage. It just means that, like, say in the thing, it's
Exploited. Definition exploited.
Okay, but the definition of exploiting is using their raw materials. You say they export raw materials. Those raw materials are definitely
Things like the total bees that you just talked about, those are just some of the things that other countries are going to use.
Exactly, which is exploiting in your
The term exploitation in the meaning of using something in an unjust or cruel manner.
That's not what it always means.
Did you get your definition of semi-periphery from Wallerstein's document? Because if you didn't, you can't necessarily use it with your argument.
part of it is from that, and then some of it is a discussion on model itself.
But is everything in a discussion necessarily true? Because it's not what he's saying, it's what other people are saying about it.
Should be directly from the text.
But then saying that Wallerstein's model exploits other countries, that doesn't mean that they necessarily are either. It goes both ways.
I was just wondering where the information was from because I want to be sure. Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's the discussion is just a expansion on what she was.
You want to be asking questions, guys.
One second, I'm sort of lost. I had to open up a lot of things.
Whole team.
I have one, yeah. How would you explain a nation like Saudi Arabia, which does not fit Wallerstein's argument model?
How does it not?
Well, it's not a periphery because it's not controlled by another nation. It's not semi-periphery because it's not really on the rise, nor is it on the fall. It's kind of stagnant. And it's not a core because it exports raw materials to the cores.
It's also, if anything, it can be said that Saudi Arabia is exploiting everyone else with their prices of oil and other things.
Right.
And also they're capitalist, so they're not out of Wallerstein's thesis, which can be put in another way.
As far as Saudi Arabia does provide oil so they can be exploiting others, but they also provide a lot of labor. For example, a lot of Saudi Arabian immigrants come to Lebanon to find labor, so they're also being exploited in that way. They're being paid way low, minimum wage, jobs because their economy can't sustain it. So in that way, they're being exploited and exploiting at the same time.
And periphery countries don't have to be under the control of another country. That was never the definition. It was just that they provide raw materials.
Also, so semi-peripheral, it says that they are attempting to improve. It doesn't mean that they are, but you could say that their use of their oil and the power of that company could be in an attempt to be on the incline, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're already becoming stronger.
And by the way, Wallerstein actually does mention specifically that they are areas lacked strong central governments or were controlled by other states.
Or
But where is Saudi Arabia controlled by other states or lacking a central government? As far as I know,
it doesn't say lacking a central government, it says lacking a strong enough central government to support.
I'm sure that's not disobeying that king.
Yeah, but
That's pretty strong.
yeah, but just because he's physically strong doesn't mean that like he
I'm not
has
saying he's beating me up. Physically, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they have the capacity to improve like a core country could.
Okay. I'll have another question. So, some of the world's largest resources are in our heads. They're ideas. Okay? I'm just not pulling that out of the air. Massachusetts' largest export, I'm using a micro example to explain a larger example. Massachusetts' largest export is college credits, the spread of ideas. Okay? Many countries send their children to America to learn and generate those ideas. And in such, they pay to have those things. In our school, what is it, 50,000? That is money in a capitalist economy being transferred. But yet Wallerstein never once mentions ideas. He mentions agricultural technology, which I'm willing to expand to all technology for this definition. And he also mentions raw resources.
Says diversifying production, which could production.
If you're going to include things like college credits under an export, then you also need to include it under production. You're producing educated people.
You are giving those people a service. You're not producing anything. You're serving them.
But if you're
Education
going
is
to
service.
well, you're not exporting the people. Are you shipping the people out somewhere? No, but if you're going to count it under an export, you
No,
need to count it.
right,
under
but what you
production.
just said is that
You're exporting a service. It's like India
You're
exporting
producing
their
a
costs.
It's the same
But
thing.
you know what you just said is that you're exporting college credits.
Yes.
But
so
you're not.
that's
It's,
production also as much as it is.
If you're going to consider an export, you're going to have to consider production.
okay, you said agricultural industry.
And he
I
also
will
said
grab the
diversified
direct quote.
production.
You guys keep making me do this. It's not. I don't remember the exact wording.
You're down to almost 1 minute to ask questions.
Okay, anyone else want to jump in while I'm waiting? And then we'll jump back. Trying to figure it. Oh, okay, here it is. Nope, that's not it actually. It's a long thing, okay, I'm sorry.
Gonna be out of time.
No, we
Release
have
the cast. Release something. I dare you, Hannah.
Okay,
Release the cast.
I can't find the direct quote, but if you look in there, it talks about agricultural advancements. He doesn't actually say production. Agricultural advancements and raw resources.
And you go to college.
So you go to college
To be
credits?
informed.
That doesn't make sense.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense in this
No,
thesis.
what you're saying is that
What I'm saying is that he does not make room for the spread of ideas in a capitalist economy. No, he doesn't allow for ideas in a capitalist economy. in his thesis, which is a major part of our calculus.
Time's up.